In today's lesson, we're going to have a look at expanding and factorising with single brackets. Firstly, let's have a look at expanding single brackets. To expand a single bracket, all you need to do is multiply the expression that's on the outside of the bracket by everything that's inside it. The best way to demonstrate this is by doing some examples. So in part A, it asks me to expand 6 on the outside with 4a minus 5 inside my bracket. So because I have a 6 on the outside, I want to multiply that by everything on the inside. So that's 6 multiplied by 4a and then 6 multiplied by minus 5 at the end. So if I do this, 6 times 4a, well, I know that 6 times 4 is 24, therefore that gives me 24a. And 6 times 5 is 30, therefore 6 times minus 5 would be minus 30 at the end. So that's my final answer for the first example. It's really tempting at this point to try and simplify that down further, but remember we only collect like terms together. Because the first part has an a term and the second part is just a number, they aren't like terms and therefore we keep them apart. In the second example, we have a b on the outside of our brackets and 2b plus 9 on the inside. This means that I need to multiply everything inside my bracket by this b. So firstly we do b times 2b, and then we need to do b times positive 9. I know that b times 2b would give me 2b squared, and b times by positive 9 would be positive 9b. So again, that's my final answer. Again, we can't simplify this further because one part has a b squared and the other part only has a b, and therefore they're different terms and they cannot be collected together. In the final example, I have 3c on the outside and 7 minus 5c on the inside. So that means everything needs to be multiplied by 3c. That means that we need to work out 3c times by 7 and then 3c times by minus 5c. So 3c multiplied by 7, well, I know that 3 times 7 is 21, so that's going to be 21 lots of c. And 3c times by minus 5c, well, 3 times 5 is 15, so that's going to give me minus 15, and c times c gives me c squared at the end. So my final answer is 21c minus 15c squared. So your first task is to complete the following worksheet on expanding brackets. The first part is expanding single brackets where there's only a number on the outside. The second section only has a letter on the outside, and the third section has a mixture of numbers and letters on the outside, so it gradually gets harder. You can check your work against the answers that have been posted onto Show My Homework once you've done everything that you can. So please pause the video now and have a go at that task, and when you're ready you can resume for the second part of the lesson. So the second thing that we're going to look at is factorising into a single bracket. To factorise into a single bracket fully, you need to take the highest common factor of each part of the expression outside of your bracket. Once you've done this, you obviously need to determine what goes inside your bracket at the end. Again, the best way for me to demonstrate this is by showing you the 3 examples that we've got at the bottom. So in the first example, it asks me to factorise fully the expression 12a plus 9. Comparing the 12a part against the 9, I can see that there's only a number factor that can be taken out the front of my bracket. So comparing the numbers 12 and 9, I know that the highest common factor of both of them is 3. That's the biggest number that divides both into 9 and into 12. I then need to determine what goes into my bracket at the end. Because I've taken a factor of 3 out of the expression, simply dividing all of it by 3 will tell me what needs to go in the bracket. So 12a divided by 3 leaves me with 4a in my bracket, and positive 9 divided by 3 leaves me with positive 3. Therefore my answer is a 3 outside of the bracket and 4a plus 3 on the inside. Remember, to factorise an expression fully, you need to take the highest common factor out, not just any factor. So, looking at my second example, I want to factorise fully 15b squared minus 40b. This time I can take both a number and letter as a factor out of the front. Firstly, looking at the numbers, I know that the highest common factor of 15 and 40 is 5. That's because 5 is the biggest number that divides exactly into 15 and into 40. Comparing the letters, I've got b squared and b, so I can take a factor of b out of the front as well. So now I need to determine what goes into my brackets. Let's start off with 15b squared. If I divide that by 5b, I know that 15 divided by 5 would be 3, and b squared divided by b would cancel one of them out, and that leaves me with 3b in my bracket. And again, if I have minus 40 and I divide it by 5, I get minus 8, and the b divided by the b on the outside would cancel out and leave me with no letters. So that's my final answer, 5b on the outside and 3b minus 8 inside my bracket. I can follow the same process for the last example, there's just a few more terms in it. So firstly, looking at the numbers, the highest common factor of 24 and 20 would be 4, so I need to take that out the front. There's a c squared and a c, so I can take a factor of c out. There's also a d and a d squared, so I can take a factor of d out. And now I need to work out what goes in my bracket. Dividing each part of my expression by 4cd, that's the amount that I've taken out the front, I can say that 24 divided by 4 gives me 6, c squared divided by c gives me a c, and the d divided by d cancels out, and that gives me 6c at the front. Doing the same thing for the second part, I get positive 20 divided by 4, which is positive 5, c divided by c, which would cancel out, and d squared divided by d, which leaves me with 1d left over. Therefore you've got 4cd on the outside of your bracket and 6c plus 5d on the inside, and that would be my final answer. So, as with before, your task is to fully factorise each of the expressions in the worksheet that is shown on the screen right now. You can download the full version from Show My Homework in the Resources to Help You section. Once you've had a go at answering all of the questions, you can check your work against the solutions, which are again posted to Show My Homework. Once you've completed all of this, you can take a photo of both of the tasks that you've completed today and upload them to Show My Homework so I can see how you've got on. If you are struggling to complete some of the work from today's lesson, then please do not hesitate to get in touch via comment on Show My Homework. I'll try to make myself as available as possible and get a reply to you as quickly as I can. If the issue requires a little bit more input from myself, I might ask to arrange a time to meet on Teams where I can give you some personalised help with that specific problem.